Good morning, children. Aren't you all eager to join our English class? I know that. So, here we go, and today's topic is present tense. So, before we learn about present tense, first we should understand what a tense is. Tense word comes from the Latin word tempus, which indicates the time and state of action or an event. Tenses are shown by using different forms of verbs. Tense expresses time reference. So, children, when we talk about tense, we talk about verbs in different forms. We talk about time. Therefore, tense is related to time and that is related to the verb forms. So, what are the different types of tenses? Present tense. Verb represents present time. Example, I play. Past tense. Verb represents past time. I played. Future tense. Verb represents future time. I will play. So, children, in your history textbook, you must have come across the past events. Therefore, we use the past tense. And a fortune teller would always talk about the future tense because he speaks about the future. And when we talk about the present time, today we use the present tense. Now, each tense is further classified into 4 types. That is on the basis of state of action. That is simple tense, continuous tense, perfect tense and perfect continuous tense. That means past tense is in simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous tense. And present tense is in simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous tense. And future tense is in simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous tense. So, my dear math students, 3 into 4, that is 12. So, we would learn about 12 types of tenses. But in today's class, we will limit ourselves to learn only about the simple present tense and the present continuous tense. When you look at these pictures, you would clearly understand that simple present tense is used to talk about everyday actions, habitual actions and general truths. Okay, I get up early every morning. She plays tennis every weekend. Cats like milk and see the duckling. What does it do every day after it gets up from the bed? So, the present simple talks about things we do every day. Like I play, I brush my teeth, I complete my homework every day. And about the daily routine. Example, in the morning, I get up early and then I take a shower. I have breakfast at 8 and I go to work at 8:30. So the structure of simple present is subject plus verb plus complement. Also remember children, this tense has only one word. That is, there is no other linking verb which comes along with this main verb. For example, Candy likes flowers. The flowers smell good. Mimi sings well and Mimi is good at singing. So the circled words are in simple present tense. Now, what is the structure of simple present tense and how does the verb form differ with singular or plural subject? Subject plus V1, that is verb in the base form, plus S or ES plus object when the subject is singular. If the subject is plural, subject plus V1 plus object. See the example, the child plays but children play. There are also some spelling rules which you need to follow. If the verb ends with double S, SH, CH, X or O, then the verb changes to ES. That is, most verb take S in the third person singular, but you need to follow these rules with the other verbs. I miss, he misses. I finish, he finishes. I watch, he watches. I mix, he mixes. I go, he goes. And if your verb ends with a consonant plus Y, then it ends with IES in the third person. Like I study, he studies. I cry, he cries. And if your verb ends with a vowel plus Y in the first person, then it changes to adding S in the third person, like I play, he plays. So you need to remember these spelling rules. So we should also know wherein all do we use the simple present tense. We use the simple present tense for instantaneous situations. That means at present, suddenly, instantly. Ronaldo passes the ball to Benzema. For newspaper headlines, man enters space. With non-progressive, that means when you cannot use the continuous tense, that is, I believe that you are innocent. When telling stories, suddenly the window opens and a masked man enters. Also, we use it in ceremonial or formal conversations. Okay, then for habits and repeated regular actions, like the child drinks milk every day. And with future constructions, like I will call you before I leave. So here leave is the simple present. For general truths or scientific facts or logical facts or geographical facts or proverbs or sayings which are all generally true, we use simple present. For example, water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. And for giving directions and instructions, for example, first of all, break the eggs and whisk the sugar. Also, children, for scheduled programs or arranged future, means when you talk about future tense, but you have already scheduled it. And also for the railway timetables, bus timetables, your class timetables, daily routines, and habitual actions. In all these cases, we use the simple present tense only. So we all should know what is the structure of simple present tense in all the three types of sentences, that is affirmative or positive, and the negative, and also the interrogative. We have already understood that in affirmative or positive sentence, the structure is subject plus verb in the root form added to S or ES if needed according to the subject, whether it is singular or plural, plus the complement. For example, he plays with the ball. For a negative sentence, subject plus do or does depending upon the subject, plus not, plus V1, plus complement. For example, she does not play with the ball. Now, an interrogative sentence can be a positive interrogative or a negative interrogative. Here, let us look at an example. Do they play with the ball? It's a positive interrogative. Don't they play with the ball? Negative interrogative. So the structures are do or does plus subject plus V1 plus complement followed by a question mark. Then don't or doesn't plus subject depending upon the subject plus V1 plus complement and question mark. We all need to remember the structure of these sentences, children. Now, we would learn about the present continuous. So, when do we use the present continuous? When you talk about an action which has begun in the past, continuing in the present, and would be continuing for some more time, might be in the future. Yes, and the general structure is subject plus is, am or are plus the present participle, which you call the V1 plus ing form of the verb. So let's look at some examples. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are preparing dinner together. And Mrs. Smith, she is frying the food. The Smiths are having such a great time. It's a pleasant evening. Paul and his parents are watching a comedy. It's so funny. They are laughing a lot. So, are having, are watching, are laughing are all in the present continuous form. Now, where all do we use the present continuous tense? Not only in the present tense, but sometimes for the future also we use the present continuous tense. Let's have a look. For temporary situations, for example, I am living in London these days. Okay? Then temporary habits. He is eating a lot these days. For annoying habits, you are forever losing your keys. Then unfinished actions now. So always present continuous represent incompleteness of an action, unfinished action. I am working at the moment. So the time adverbs like at the moment, just now or now, all these denote the present continuous tense. For future, when you talk about definite future plans, then instead of the simple future, we use the present continuous tense. For example, I am meeting my father tomorrow. So in place of I will meet my father tomorrow, you would say I am meeting my father tomorrow. Now let's have a look at the structure of the present continuous tense for all the three types of sentences, that is the affirmative, negative and interrogative. Subject plus is or am or are plus verb added to ing form. For example, he is playing football. So we have already learnt this for affirmative sentence. Now for a negative sentence, subject plus is or am or are plus not plus verb in the root form added to ing. So example, he is not playing football. Next, interrogative sentence. Is or am or are plus subject plus verb in the ing form plus question mark. Okay, so is he playing football? If it was a negative sentence, interrogative negative sentence, then it would be isn't he playing football? Now children, we also have to follow the spelling rules, because if we make a mistake in the spelling, then the entire structure would go wrong. The first rule, if the base verb ends in consonant plus vowel plus consonant, double the last letter. For example, in stop, the last three letters are TOP, which is consonant plus vowel plus consonant. Therefore, it doubles, P doubles added to ing. It becomes stopping. Similarly, run, running, begin, beginning. Now the second rule. If the base verb ends in IE, change the IE to Y. For example, lie, L-I-E, changes to lying, L-Y-I-N-G. Similarly, die to dying. The third rule. If the base verb ends in vowel plus consonant plus E, omit the E. So, have a look at this example. Come. The last three letters are O-M-E. That is vowel plus consonant plus E. So, we have omitted the E and added ing. So, come becomes coming, C-O-M-I-N-G. Similarly, mistake becomes mistaking. So, enjoy the learning, children. Now, this is very important. There are few verbs wherein you can never use the ing form of these verbs. That is, you can never write the present continuous form of these verbs when you use them as verbs. Remember this, children. These verbs are verbs of perception, that is, see, hear, smell, recognize and notice. Verbs of appearing, that is, appear, look and seem. Verbs of emotion, that is, want, wish, desire, feel, like, love, hate, hoping, refusing, preferring, and verbs of thinking, that is think, suppose, believe, agree, consider, trust, remember. So you can never say I am remembering, or you can never say I am forgetting. Okay? And know, understand, and imagine. And verbs of possession, that is own, possess, belong to, contain, consist of, and be. So now children, I hope you all have clearly understood that in which conditions, in which state do we use the simple present, and in which state do we use the present continuous. Also, we have understood the structures of the simple present and the present continuous for the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative forms. Also, we have learned few exceptions. Also, we have learned the spell rules for the simple present as well as the present continuous. So, following all these slides, complete the worksheet that will be posted to you very quickly.